I think I've had enough of the criticism, right? Now, I'm talking about my Sparkle videos. So many people got mad at those videos because I called Sparkle useless. My bad for not clarifying what I meant by useless. No, I never meant, yo, if you have Sparkle, she's not gonna make any difference for your account. Like, that is not what I meant, okay? So I'm gonna explain it in this video why I believe Sparkle is nearly useless, okay? I have to be specific for you guys. However, why I believe she is nearly useless, right? In terms of pull value, okay? Let me reiterate. In terms of pull value, I believe Sparkle is nearly useless. Okay? That's it. Now, why do I believe this? I'll explain it right now, like I've explained in the past 2 videos I've made on why Sparkle is useless. So, Robin. If you guys don't know, Sparkle used to be best in slot in the Dill team. She still is to an extent. However, if you have higher relic quality, Robin is better in the Dill team. In a Mono Quantum team, Sparkle's best in slot, right? Like, she's very good. Best in slot for Mono Quantum. However, Mono Quantum is a team that barely anybody uses. So straight up, its value, like her value decreases just from being on that team. Best in slot for only that team, right? E2 Acheron. Now, this used to be like Sparkle's second main selling point. Number 1 was Dawn Hung. Number 2 was E2 Acheron. Now, with Zhao Q on the team, the new best E2 Acheron team is with Robin. So, in almost every hyper carry scenario, including Jing Yuan, including literally any fucking hyper carry, Robin is better than Sparkle, where Sparkle is supposed to be the better support, the better hyper carry support. Robin ends up being better in hyper carry 99% of the time, okay? Then, follow up. Robin is better by a mile, okay? Even for Yun Li. I'm currently using Sparkle with my Yun Li. However, Robin is better than Sparkle, okay? So she's better in follow-up, and she's better in hyper carry. Duo DPS. Robin is better. Do you see where I'm getting at? In nearly every scenario, Sparkle isn't a best in slot for any team except Mono Quantum and Dill team, if you don't have the highest of relic quality, right? Which is fair. Most people don't have the highest of relic quality, but even then, the difference is like so minimal. And because of Robin's action forward, you're able to make up skill points by just basicing on your supports and sustains. So that's why it's actually close between her and Sparkle in a Dill team, right? Like, so many people are wondering why is it actually close. This has to be propaganda from someone who likes Robin a lot. Sparkle gives skill points. Keep in mind, Sparkle doesn't really give skill points like that. She is only 1 skill point positive. She is 1 skill point away from being just skill point neutral. So when Robin action forwards the entire team, that's an extra 3 turns. So she can be more SP positive if you're able to get the energy on her really fast, right? Not to mention, correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe that Robin's E1 is even stronger than Sparkle's E1. So if you have her E1, even more so, right? Like, she just becomes even more broken. But my point is, if you're a new player, you just shouldn't pull on Sparkle. You shouldn't. I'm going to be straight up. Because there's a ton of new characters coming out that you could get instead. And as well as a ton of reruns that you can get instead. For example, next banner for the next patch is rumored to be or rumored to have a triple rerun banner. So this will be the first of the game if it ends up being true, and it's rumored that the 3 characters rerunning are Black Swan, Kafka, and Robin. Okay, so literally right after the current patch that has Sparkle, you're gonna be getting Robin on the rerun banner. And as I mentioned before, in terms of pull value, if you're gonna choose between Sparkle or Robin, it's Robin every single day. Okay, it's not even close. Robin is much more, almost a must pull, right? So many people talk about Ruan Mei being the one must pull character in the game. I truly think the closest to a must pull and the closest to Ruan Mei is Robin currently, especially considering once Fei Xiao comes out, Robin's also gonna be a best in slot in Fei Xiao's team, right? So I think those 2 characters are the like must pull units in this game right now. And if you have to choose between Sparkle and Robin, it's Robin every single day of the week. Like, it's not close at all in my opinion, unless you really want to run a mono quantum team that is just weak. Like, I'm gonna be honest, it's one of the weakest teams in the game currently. It's really nothing that crazy, right? So I simply wouldn't recommend it, because then it's not only Robin, right? Like, you have to keep in mind there's a lot of good characters coming out soon for a new player. Aventurine should be getting his rerun in a couple of patches. Acheron should be getting her rerun in a couple of patches. After Acheron, it'll probably be Firefly. Like, there are so many broken units that are getting reruns, while also we're getting new units at the exact same time. I simply cannot recommend going for a unit that isn't best in slot in any team other than a mid team, a mono quantum team, right? And a dill team by a very small extent, right? And then in literally every other scenario, this one support, aka Robin, is better in literally every other scenario in every other team in the game, as well as more future proof, considering right now we're in a follow-up meta with these characters, right? So go for Robin and don't go for Sparkle if you're a new player, right? You simply have no reason to. I genuinely think the only people who should be going for Sparkle is either they already have all the supports or they spend money on the game. But if you're free to play, or even just someone who buys the monthly pass and the battle pass, I simply cannot recommend going for Sparkle at all. It's just not worth it. You're gonna miss out on a new character or a super strong rerun over her. And this is where I'm getting at, right? Sparkle is nearly useless in terms of pull value, okay? Right? If you already have Sparkle like me, I'm in this exact situation. You can still use her. You can still use her on a Dill. You can still use her on a Yun Li. You can still use her in Mono Quantum. It doesn't matter. She's usable, right? She's good. But if you don't have her, don't go for her, because you're gonna end up missing out on a unit that is probably way more important and way stronger, and it's just not gonna feel good at the end of the day, right? If you go on YouTube and you look at any recent clears of the 2.4 or 2.5 MOC, 90% of these clears are done with Robin. Whether it be Fei Xiao, whether it be fucking Acheron. I saw an Acheron E0S10 cycle that was only possible with Robin, right? Yes, that is a 0 cycle. Yes, that is a standout with high relic quality. However, my point is, with the right relic quality, this girl Robin is out of the moon broken. Like, she fits in nearly every team in the game except, right? Except for break teams, right? Break teams are the only teams where it's kind of meh, right? I imagine that Robin is semi-usable in a break team possibly, because since Firefly converts attack to break effect, it's possible that her huge attack buff could play a huge role. I'm not completely sure. I haven't looked at showcases or anything. I'm just assuming, right? However, my point being, She is nearly a must-pull support that works on nearly every team in the game and is best in slot in most of the teams in the game. Like, Ruan Mei is best in slot for break teams and dot team. But I feel like for nearly every other team, it's usually Robin, right? So, TLDR, Sparkle is still usable and still decent if you have her. However, if you don't have her, I cannot recommend getting her because she is outshined by quite a bit by Robin, right? Like, if you're already planning to go for Sparkle and Robin, I'd honestly recommend you just go for E1 Robin instead. Because E1 Robin, I believe, gives Res Pen, and it increases her overall buffs by quite a large margin. Unless you really need a second Harmony, right? Because Ruan Mei just re-ran and just left. So if you weren't able to get Ruan Mei just like me, then I can understand it to an extent. But I'd only do it if I knew I were guaranteed to get Robin anyways. If you're pulling for Sparkle and you're not certain whether or not you'll be able to get Robin, I simply would stop. I wouldn't do it. I just go straight for Robin instead. Trust me, especially in the current meta, with more new characters that come out, Robin is just going to be getting stronger, honestly. The more follow-up characters that come out, the stronger she's going to end up getting, right? Same with Pure Fiction. And Pure Fiction 2, one of the strongest, right? Now, what do I think they could change to bring Sparkle back? I truly think the only way that Sparkle could regain some of her pull value back by at least a decent margin, right, is a new top tier quantum DPS. If you guys don't know, I believe Sparkle's Trace either gives an attack or damage bonus. Let me see. Yeah, increase all allies attack by 15% when there are 1, 2, 3 quantum type allies in the team. Additionally, increases quantum type allies attack by 5, 15%, or 30%. So if you have one quantum teammate, you're getting a 5% attack buff. If you have 2, 15%, and 3, 30%. So what I think they need to do, right? They need to create a new hyper carry specifically, right? Like, this is a very specific character to make Sparkle good again. Hyper carry quantum that can work with another quantum teammate that isn't Sparkle, right? Maybe you could run Fu Xuan. I believe Fu Xuan is quantum, so maybe Fu Xuan sustain, then Sparkle, and then the DPS. I truly believe that a hyper carry quantum DPS that is top tier, they can't be mediocre, right? They have to be at least top tier, like Fei Xiao, Acheron, or Firefly level. I think then she might get some of her pull value back, and I'll say you can consider her, right? Like, maybe she actually is worth it now. However, at this current point in time, Sparkle's pull value is garbage. Straight up, it's garbage, and right now she's rerunning right next to Robin. So there's no point in going for her over Robin right now, unless you're simply that impatient or you really like the character and you have money, right? At the end of the day, you can pull for whoever you want. It's about whoever brings you the most enjoyability you have in the game, right? So if you don't like Robin, I completely understand that. The first time Robin came out, I skipped her because I didn't like her design. I didn't care about her all that much. And I also didn't like the singing in her ult. Like, it just wasn't interesting to me, right? And I was like, oh, I have Sparkle. I don't need to pull for another Penacony Harmony. I ended up being fucking wrong. And now I'm going to try going for Robin on her rerun again, right? So at the end of the day, it's all about what brings you the most enjoyment. However, do keep in mind, do you want to sacrifice the meta that you're going to lose out on and the amount of teams that you're going to be able to play optimally just so you can enjoy one character for a short period of time, right? That's really all it comes down to. Do you want to do more damage? Do you want to improve your account? Or do you just want to have fun and enjoy the new character that you like more, right? So that's it. That's the video. Going over some shit because I got so much shit for my previous Sparkle videos. I wanted to clarify what I meant. Pull value compared to Robin, who is rerunning right next to her, is garbage. It's simply not worth it, and I could never recommend it to anyone unless they're a spender. So yeah, have a good day, have a good night, peace.